fruiting twig of Hippophae raminitis. Hippophae raminitis, popularly known as Seabuckthorn, is dioecious spiny shrub which usually grows along the river Indus at Leh and along the Suru river in Kargil and also along the river Kishnganga at Dawar Gurez in Bandipur Forest Division and also along the river Marusudar in Varban Valley, Madhwa Forest Division. So all three regions of erstwhile Jammu and Kashmir state, whether it is Jammu region or Kashmir region or Ladakh region, in all the three regions we find the presence of this shrub, Seabuckthorn, Hippophae raminitis. Why it has been named a Hippophae? Hippo word denotes horse. In the earlier ages, it was used by Greeks as fodder for a horse. And what was the objective? As fodder, nutritional fodder is one objective, but then they used this as horse fodder to give the shine to the horse coat. So that shine word is also included in the hippo phi word derived from phias, which means to shine, to give shine, to have shine on the hair coat of horses. Hippo means horse. So the genus name is Hippophae as horse fodder. This was the traditional use in the Greece. And by the species raminoides, because the twigs are spiny, you can see the spines. These are the branchlets, but they have a very sharp spine. This is another spine. So the branchlets are spiny. And this is the feature which is shared by the genus Raminus, especially Raminus variegatus, which we find in Kishtwar border area. So it has some look of Raminus. So species stands named as raminoides, Hippophae raminoides, Seabuckthorn. It is also found in Uttarakhand, and in Uttarakhand it is called as Amil in Hindi. Another word used for this shrub is Tirku. In Ladakh region, Leh, it is called Sarbong. We have another name in Kargil. And likewise, Burjeed is another name in Shina language around Chorban or Habba Khatun Chashma. Habba Khatun Chashma, at the base of the mountain Habba Khatun, has also vegetation, a kind of sacred grove where we find Hippophae raminoides shrubs. These bushes are basically dioecious, that is male shrub and female shrub, they are apart. They stand separately, they grow separately. Male flowers and female flowers are born on separate plants. So many of the bushes are without fruits. That means they might be the male flowers. So male plants only bear pollen. So pollen is required to carry out pollination and fertilization. And pollination is wholly solely undertaken by the wind, kind of anemophily, because there are no gaudy petals. Corolla is absent. Rather, they are petal-less flowers. Insignificant. They don't attract insects or birds. So only means of pollination is anemophily, wind pollination. And this unique shrub has a unique ability to fix nitrogen. But here there is a actinobacterium and the genus Frankia, a kind of actinomycetes bacterium which also infests the roots of Alnus nitida. Even another plant we find in Kashmir and Gurez region, that is Dateska canavina, also found at Makarkot and Ramban area. So that plant, whether it is Hippophae raminoides or likewise we have the Alnus nitida or Datesca canavina, they all have the association with the Frankia kind of bacterium. Otherwise, nitrogen fixing bacterium, rhizo or rhizobium or bradyrhizobium, that is found in case of Pisum sativum, mostly legumes. But this plant does not belong to Mutter family or Fabaceae or Leguminosae. So this is the unique feature of this shrub, Hippophyraminides, to which our Bankank also belongs. The family is rather named after Bankank or Kankoli, Oleaster, a silverberry, which is in fact Alagnus umbellata, which is also found in Dudu-Basantagad area, and its fruits are just like wheat grains, and it has the pink red coloration. So they are ellipsoid. They are not round, rather they are ellipsoid, and trees don't have that much thorny branches. Although thorns are present there also, but not that much thorny as we find the Hippophyraminides. Moreover, the fruits have orange yellow color. Here we find yellow color, but with another fortnightly, after fully maturation, is sometimes they also develop orange red color. But here we see the yellow pigmentation, and yellow pigmentation also denotes these fruits have the rich nutritional profile. Carotenoids, lycopene, which we find in tomatoes, and the carotenoid, they are useful for the synthesis of vitamin A. Likewise, we also find the rich source of tocopherol, which is also the main phytochemical used for the formation of vitamin E. It is a rich source of ascorbic acid. So vitamin C is found in good quantity when the fruits are matured. This also have the vitamin B12 vitamin in larger quantities. Rather, we have calcium also, magnesium, copper, and zinc. The leaves are also little linear. They also have some superficial resemblance to the oleaster or elaginous leaves, but in elaginous the leaves are ovate, elliptic ovate. They are broader, whereas in Hippophyraminoides the leaves are linear. These are the fruits which mature somewhere in September, October. Since this is still August month, last week, so fruits have not fully ripened, and this material is resourced from the Korgil. And this material has been provided by the tree talk enthusiast Bani Rai, who belongs to Navshera. I am grateful, and this particular plant has health benefits. It is used in many medicines. Rather, it is also named by another name as layberry, and there was a layberry juice extraction also by the Ladakh Hill Development Council in the previous decades. But since its harvest is very cumbersome because of spiny nature and small size of fruits which are round in shape, and there are thorns, it is a very time consuming process. So there is a need to have the thornless cultivars, which in that direction China has done a good job. We see throughout the world we have about 3 million hectares of area under the Hippophy, whether it's a wild population or it is cultivated. And out of 3 million hectare area under Hippophyraminoides, Seabuckthorn or Liberty, we find about 2.5 million hectare area is only seen in China. And out of 2.5, about 1.5 million hectare is under cultivation. That is, there are plantations, there is cultivated plants, and about 1 million hectare you find the wilderness. In Madhva Valley, Barwan Valley rather, Marusuda region, from Inshan, Afti up to Yurdu, we find gregarious growth of this nitrogen fixing shrub from the family Alagnaceae, that is called Hippophyraminoides. And we have also seen some very good preserved tree-like shrubs of this Hippophyraminoides at the location called Yurdu beside the river Marasudar. And Divisional Forest Officer, Madhva Forest Division, Vijay Kumar, took me to have survey of Hippophyraminoides in the Varban Valley, and we had a long walk, about 40 kilometers from Yurdu up to Navapachi. And I persuaded and therefore agreed. He started raising this shrub even in the forest nursery. So he has introduced some plants even in Kishtawar. That is the way how we can motivate each other and get some new innovations, or we introduce some lesser known bioresource which can play the multiple role. One is ameliorating the impoverished soils. It can improve the fertility of soils. Second, it can provide the health benefits by way of tea. So its leaves and fruits, they can be boiled in water, and this decoction can be taken as such, or lemon drops can be added, so we can have the lemon tea or the Hippophy Seabuckthorn herbal tea. And in fact, the DRDO Field Research Laboratory, Defense Research Development Organization at Leh, stationed at Leh, under the stewardship of Om Prakash Chaurasia, well-known taxonomist and presently director, he innovated the herbal tea of Hippophyraminoides. Even sometimes it is seen in the markets. It is sold in the markets. It is rich in antioxidants. It has anti-aging properties. It is rich in vitamin C, and it is a liver tonic and even good for the heart health, and is good for digestion, appetizer. And this particular herbal tea is very popular, at least in Leh. But elsewhere in Marwa Valley, Barwan or Yurdu, people are not consuming it as a herbal tea, but they can. We can also collect these fruits which are yellow and rich in phytochemicals, health promoting phytochemicals. So likewise, we can collect some, pluck some leaves, linear leaves, and some fruits, and along with chili and onion and a little salt and little black pepper, and even one clove, or one, you can say, the garlic clove, you can develop the chutney. So Hippophyraminoides can be used even as a sauce. Monica Sarkel just spoke to me the other day. She was telling some lady is working on the book on documentation of various kinds of sauces which are prevalent in India. So each and every region, we have some sauces which are unique. For example, if we talk about Tripura and Assam, then we have Autenga, Jaleni Indica, Chalta chutney, very unique. But in Jammu region, we have Timburuki chutney, Xanthosellum armatum, which is very, even we have the song woven around the pungency of Xanthosellum armatum, Timburu, and even Anardana ki chutney is always associated with Timburu wood. Even that mortar and pestle. Pestle is usually derived from the wood of Xanthosellum armatum, Timburu. Another is Malli or Kadmalli or Najposh chutney, where we use the leaves of Assimum basilica in the hills, and that gives fragrance also and health benefits. Likewise, we can include the layberry or Seabuckthorn, Hippophyraminoides, both leaves and fruits can be pounded along with onion and chili to innovate the herbal chutney. So this will promote the health. It is useful for heart, useful against liver, it detoxifies liver, and it has rich source of 6 omega fatty acids and health promoting fatty acids, and even the some kind of sourness of these fruits, that is due to the presence of malic acid, which usually we find in the apples. Apples is known as Malus domestica, and from the word malus, malic acid, That means that particular rest, but astringency is also there. If they are not fully ripened, then some kind of little astringency is also experienced by the consumer whoever eats its berries. And that astringency is due to the presence of quinic acid. We have many other applications of Hippophae raminoides fruits, especially the seeds. Seabuckthorn seed oil, which is about 11%, that is, has immense health benefits rather than the fleshy part of the fruit, which has about 1 or 2% of that oil content. But Seabuckthorn, Hippophae raminoides seeds, they are a richer source of Seabuckthorn oil, up to 11% oil is obtained. Only unique feature of this plant, it is also the attracts many birds, avian life in cold desert areas. These fruits, after maturation, they don't fall immediately, rather they remain clinging to the bushes, to the twigs, and even during severe winter, when the freezing temperature all around, and even at that time when birds don't get much to eat, at that time they are usually attracted toward the remaining or the clinging, the hanging berries of Hippophae raminoides, Seabuckthorn, Sarbong. So that is another ecological aspect. This particular plant is very useful against land reclamation and against soil erosion. So along the river valleys, these bushes need to be preserved. While I was coming from in the Bourbon Valley from Yurdu to Navapachi, I found the locals even harvesting it as a fodder, one thing, as fuel wood, third, and even they have cut its spiny twigs and put along the farmland fence. So they need to be advised not to harvest the female plants, and even in case of male plants, few twigs can be harvested, but some need to be preserved as a pollen source so that fruit production takes place. And for better yield of fruits of Hippophae raminoides, even moderate pruning is prescribed. So this is very important agroforestry tree, which Agriculture University is Squashed Kashmir, and especially is Squashed Kashmir, and since now Ladakh is separate union territory, in the Ladakh region, they need to encourage the farmers and locals to include this plant along with other species, say poplars, willows, which are well-known agroforestry trees, and we find very huge heritage trees of willows at Chilling, that village beside the river Janskar river. And likewise we find these Hippophae raminoides even in the Markha valley and even in Tolel region, around Budao, that Kaowal Gully, below at Chakawali, and down below you have Gujranwala and some other locations, Neeru, Budao, etc., where we find these bushes. They are growing in plenty, but they need to be preserved along the river or stream so that it prevents soil erosion. So Hippophae raminoides, which you are seeing, this is a unique shrub in the family Alagnaceae, to which our Bankank or Kankoli or Alagnus umbellata belongs. In Jammu Botanical Garden, we have introduced the Oleaster or silverberry, Alagnus umbellata. Likewise, in Kashmir University, Dr. Anjar Khuro and Akhtar, they have introduced, or they are maintaining, the germplasm of Hippophae raminoides in the Botanical Garden Department of Botany, University of Kashmir. But Kishtwar is another location or en route to Machel temple pilgrimage. There are many locations where this Hippophae raminoides can be introduced, and this will generate some kind of additional income to the locals, and another health promoting benefits will also be, I think they can be promoted in those locations where the first aid and the other modern systems of healthcare are not possible. So people still depend on the Ayurveda and Unani system of medicine. And so from that angle also, this Hippophae raminoides is very useful plant where we find its use even in many cosmetics. It's very good for hair growth, for the skin care. It has found lot of, you can say, the high altitude sickness which can be cured with the consumption of layberry juice or layberry sauce, chutney. So chutney is another innovation which we can keep these leaves dried, and even the berries can also be dried, and that can be powdered, and that powder can be kept for future use. But immediate, if you able to collect the fresh sample, then definitely you can consume it fresh, and that will be much better. But in other season, if you are not able to get the fresh material, then even preserved material or powdered material can be used. So this is the Hippophae raminoides, nitrogen fixing plant, which has revolutionized the economy of China, and to some extent some initiative was taken at Leh by Ladakh Hill Development Council, but much needs to be done. We have not promoted Hippophae raminoides in Gurez Valley. In fact, after the Kishanaganga hydroelectric project, there was a good population of Hippophae raminoides at Badwan, which got submerged. And likewise, even we have now new hydroelectric projects which are coming up in Navapachi area, in that's along the river Marusudar, and even there will be some loss of the area under this Hippophae raminoides. So, keeping in view the shrinking area under Hippophae raminoides, Forest Department need to take initiative and plant this shrub in the blanks, in the available spaces, and popularize this shrub, Seabuckthorn, layberry, Hippophae raminoides, as useful medicinal and edible shrub of temperate and cold desert regions of Jammu and Kashmir, including Ladakh and Gurez and Vadhavan Madhwa Valley. बन गई है हिप्पोफाए raminoides आमील की चटनी। आमील जिसे लद्दाखी लोग बोलते हैं सरवांग, तो हम कह सकते हैं यह है सरवांग की चटनी। अंग्रेज़ों ने इसको नाम दिया सीबकथॉर्न प्लांट को, तो उसी के लीव्स और फ्रूट्स की ये चटनी है, सॉस है, तो हम कह सकते हैं सीबकथॉर्न सॉस। और इसको साइंटिफिकली कहा गया हिप्पोफाए raminoides, क्योंकि हिप्पो घोड़े को कहते हैं, फेस मैंने घोड़े की चमक के लिए इसके पत्तों को फाडर के तौर में इस्तेमाल किया गया ग्रीस में, इसलिए इसका नाम पड़ गया, जीनस जो है वो गढ़ा गया नाम हिप्पोफाए raminoides, क्योंकि रेमनस की तरह, जैसे रेमनस ब्रिगेटस है उसकी तरह कांटे इसकी शाखों पे भी होते हैं इसलिए। और ये विटामिन सी रिच है, और ये झाड़ी जो है मेल और फीमेल झाड़ियाँ अलग अलग होती हैं। और ये हम अगर जम्मू रीजन की बात करें तो जम्मू में सिर्फ मड़वा फॉरेस्ट डिवीजन के वरवन वैली में मरुसूदर रिवर के साथ साथ ये झाड़ियाँ मिलती हैं। खासकर युर्दू में इसके बड़े बड़े पेड़ हैं, और ऐसे ही इंशन और अफ्ती में भी हैं। लेकिन अगर हम कश्मीर की बात करें तो सिर्फ हब्बा खातून की उस स्थली जहाँ पर उसकी शादी हुई थी, किशन गंगा रिवर के किनारे किनारे, चाहे हम तोलेल की बात करें चाहे हम दावर की बात करें, तो किशन गंगा रिवर के साथ साथ ये झाड़ियाँ मिलती हैं। और अगर हम लद्दाख की बात करें तो कारगिल में सुरू रिवर के साथ साथ, और लद्दाख लेह की बात करें तो सिंध रिवर के साथ साथ ये झाड़ियाँ उगती हैं। और सितंबर इसका सीज़न होता है फल पकने का, तो वहाँ की जो डिफेंस रिसर्च ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है उन्होंने इसकी चाय भी बनाई है, इसकी पत्तियों की चाय बिकती भी है मार्केट में। और ले बेरी जूस भी उतारा था लद्दाख हिल डेवलपमेंट काउंसिल ने, लेकिन मिलता बहुत कम है। चूंकि इस झाड़ी पे कांटे बहुत होते हैं तो फलों को चुनना भी बड़ा दुश्वार होता है। तो कोशिश होनी चाहिए रिसर्च लेबोरेटरी की कि थॉर्नलेस, कांटों से रहित इसकी पौधे जो हैं उपलब्ध हों और उन्हीं का प्लांटेशन किया जाए। और ये लोगों को न्यूट्रिशन भी देगा और ये हेल्थ बेनिफिट्स भी है और कॉस्मेटिक्स में भी यूज़ होता है, स्किन केयर के लिए, हेयर केयर के लिए, हार्ट टॉनिक भी है, लिवर टॉनिक भी है, डाइजेस्टिव है, एपेटाइजर है, एंटी एजिंग है। तो इसके कई बेनिफिट्स हैं। तो उसकी चटनी आज हमको उपलब्ध हुई है क्योंकि ये जो ताज़ा फल और ताज़ा पत्तियां कारगिल से आज ही मुझे मिली हैं। तो आप देख रहे हैं एक लाजवाब चटनी, सी बकथॉर्न चटनी।